love this. I'm hardly going to have to say anything at all. We have Dragonblade authors Abigail Bridges, Laura Landon, Sandra Sookoo, and Sofie Darling. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this week.
Sure, no
Happy
problem.
to be here.
You're welcome.
So because we have so many books and we have so many people to talk to, I'm going to jump right in, and we'll start with Abigail's book, which is The Duke I Came For, and it's book 4 in the Ashton Park series. Is that right?
That's right. It's the conclusion of the series, and I had a lot of fun writing it. It's Beth's story. The Ashton Park series is about the 4 children of the Duke of Kennett, and the first book was the oldest's story, Thomas, and it was Thomas, Robert, Michael, and now Lady Elizabeth gets her tale told. The whole family has been thrown into a couple of massive scandals, and Beth's season has been ruined. She's a debutante, and so she was poised to be the diamond of the season, and so all of that has been stripped away, and so she decides to go north to stay with her sister-in-law's aunt at a house called Timmins Manor. And as it turns out, when she gets there, she stepped into scandal and just the potential of a much larger scandal. In that Sophia Timmins, Lady Sophia, is providing a haven to young women who have been ruined. And most of them are with child, including a young woman who is the sister Duke. The Duke, Kit, is currently in search of his sister, and he's been tearing the countryside up. So he has tracked her eventually to Timmins Manor, but the months on the road have taken their toll, and so just about the time he confronts Lady Sophia, he collapses. And so in order to the manor secrets, Beth, who knew him from their season, volunteers to nurse him back to health. So this sets up something that he had wanted to court her, and she had rejected him. And so this sets up this growing relationship between the two people. And he winds up confronting her about a whole lot of things, and there's all this wonderful romantic angst. And she comes up with a plan to pull them all, including his sister, out of scandal. But it's going to take quite a commitment on his part. And so is he up to this? So anyway, that's the setup and that's the premise. And I loved writing these two characters. They're very sweet. It's a slow burn. And so far, the readers have just loved getting to know these two and not having a mystery. It's just a straight romance as they grow and fight their way through this scandal.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. It sounds lovely. And for a minute there, I thought you were going to say in order to protect the secrets, they walled him up in the closet. And so nursing him back to health is way better than where my head went when you first started talking.
There is
that's
a character.
what I'm thinking I would do. We're just going to put him somewhere.
There is
Sure, that
character.
make it a whole different kind of book right there.
There is a character, Sophia's friend Daphne, who has a connection to my first Lion's Den novel. But Daphne, very practical, straightforward. She left the society behind, and he collapsed on the floor, and she looks down at him, and she says, "You should probably do something." And Daphne looks at him and says, "I suggest we put him on his horse and send him on his way. The man's unconscious." and we can't, or in lieu of that, she wants to put him in the stable. So she just wants to get rid of him.
Whatever works,
So whatever works. So,
well, giving him a chance to find a happily ever after is a much better choice. So
readers are liking it.
I don't know. You might find a happily ever after in the stable. You don't know.
That's an entirely different kind of book.
That's actually book. That's actually book 3 of my series. In book 3, the two main characters spend a lot of time in the stables.
Oh my. Well, that sounds like so much fun, and I'm glad he got his chance for a do-over.
Yeah.
So, Sandra, your book launched next this weekend. It's The Lion's Puzzle, and it's a Lion's Den book. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
The Lion's Puzzle is my first foray into the Lion's Den connected world. It's a full-length book, and it features the hero he's entitled himself the worst man in London, and he's made himself be that way because honestly, the man is just afraid. He's afraid and he's been hurt and he just wants to keep everybody away. This is very, very loosely based on a Beauty and the Beast premise, but it's mostly a enemies to lovers story. And like when I say enemies to lovers, they like literally hate each other, like from the get-go. And which was fun to write because that's just always fun to write.
Yeah, the fire just keeps everything going then.
So yeah, I'm not going to tell you why he's afraid or why he's, he is what he is. But she has been rumored to have killed her first husband. So that was always fun. That was really fun. When she told me that when I was writing the story, I'm like, okay, we'll go with that. That's great, But the premise is, he won the hand of her sister, in a game at the Lion's Den. And she's all like, well, my sister shouldn't have to go through this life, shouldn't have to, marry this guy because he's the worst man in London. So I've already been ruined. I'm already under rumor. I'll take his place. So she goes into the wedding ceremony all veiled up so nobody can see her face. So she did like the switcheroo kind of thing. And he's, of course, livid when he finds out. Not that he gives a care one way or the other of who he marries, But yeah, then it just snowballs from there. We go from scene to scene to scene where they hate each other. And then they're like, oh, maybe I don't hate you as much as I think I hate you, the whole thing. So,
I love the ones that start at the wedding too, like where they,
it's great. It's I had the best fun writing this book, and it, I outline everything. I'm sure you guys all know this because, I've been here for a while. So I came up with the concept and my brain is like, hey, what would be fun to do right now? Outline the whole book right now, like literally right now. So that's what I did. I outlined the book as soon as I had a concept, and I basically just shoved everything off of my schedule for that month and dealt with this book, which has inspired 2 other Lion's Den books. So all the readers that want Montague's best friend to have his own Lion's Den book, he's scheduled for release in September or October. I can't remember which one it is. And then his sister will get her story next year sometime. So there you go. If you're going to write one of these books, just be advised that you'll probably be hooked. I hope the readers all like it. It's being really well received right now. And, if you do like it, please give it a good review. And then Montague would finally be happy.
Yeah. I don't think we talk about that enough here. So it bears repeating that one of the kindest things you can do for the authors you love is leave good reviews, because writing is such a lonely undertaking, and you send the books out into the world and you just kind of hold your breath and hope that they'll be well received. And so as a reader, if you can send a little love your favorite author's way,
exactly. And it means so much because, sometimes we have really crappy weeks out there, and, when we see a good review or we see a reader rave about a book, it's just like, hey, girl, don't give up, write more books. We love them,
Yep. Yep. It's a good thing. So, Sofie, your book released this week too. We have so many. I've been playing like Brady Bunch with the authors. So, Sofie, your book is Lady Delilah Dares a Duke, not Does a Duke. I think Does a Duke every time in my head. And it's part of the Lions, or it's part of the Dragonblade Flame line. And it's book 4 in the Windermere's in Love series. Can you tell us a little bit about this? And Flame, for those of you who don't already know it, is our steamier line. So.
It's steamy. It's a steamy novella. So yeah, it's the 4th and final book of the Windermere's in Love series. And Lady Delilah is the youngest of the siblings. And essentially, she's kind of run off with the circus. Not a circus, but a theater company. And and her brother's best friend sees her there. She's told everyone that she's off mountaineering in Switzerland, and because all of her siblings are all now married off, and she's kind of lonely, so she's decided to do something for herself. So she joined this theater company, and her brother's best friend sees her one night and says, you need to come back to London. And she says no. And he says, so, well, if you're staying, I'm staying. So then the two of them, Delilah and the Duke, Sebastian, he stays as a carpenter. and they travel around the English countryside all summer. And it's pretty rompy, and it's just fun. It's fun, and they've had tension. Those two characters have had tension throughout the series. She actually considers him to be her nemesis because a few years back, he'd exposed her on the stage. She was pretending to be a boy, pretending to be a girl, pretending to be a boy, like on stage. And he exposed her, and she always thought it was because he was a real jerk. And the reason he exposed her was for a different reason, to protect her. So that all comes out in this book as well. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it could very well have been Lady Delilah Does the Duke. It could have been the title.
I first saw the title, I was like, well, that's saucy.
No wonder it's a
Oh,
rock.
dares. He dares the Duke. That's what happens. Does he know anything about carpentry before he decides to be a carpenter in the theater company?
No, but he's a quick learner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's kind of big and burly, so they use him for moving
Lifting
stuff
stuff.
around.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a duke of all trades.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. And the whole series, we kind of joke behind the scenes when we submit for reviews about how many tea kettles it is, and this one is in all the tea kettle series.
This one is it's probably the most rompy scenes I've had in a book, and it's about half the length of my.
Oh my goodness!
So,
Sometimes characters are just like that. And you're like, can you please just stop so that we can do something else?
Not these two.
I've had books like that.
That sounds like so much fun. And I do love the title. So
it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm sad to leave them behind. The Windermere.
That finishes out the series.
It does. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to what comes next. So, Laura, you've got a brand new series. Look, I did the switch. I'm always so happy when it works out. You have a brand new series that launched this week. It's the Willowbrook series, and the first book is A Willowbrook Miracle.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This is the beginning of I think it could be a very long series.
We love those.
Yeah, well, I do too. Willowbrook is the name of a town, and it was a little village in England, and the Duke of Willowbrook, he set aside a parcel of land because he owned most of England. And so he set a parcel of land aside to make of a town. He wanted his village, his town, to grow. And so before the book even opens, the Willowbrook has several stores, shops that are ready to move into for anyone that wants to start a business in Willowbrook. And it starts out with his grandson, who comes home from the war the Crimean War, because his brother, who will have the Duke's title when the Duke passes on, and his brother is killed. They think he died in a riding accident, but as my book goes on, they realize someone killed him. And so when my hero comes home from the war, someone tries to kill him too. So they know that whoever wants them dead wants that title because they want that money. The Duke is terribly wealthy. And so my heroine, who's the Duke's neighbor, her grandmother has always lived next to the Duke, and there's a little relationship there, but we won't go into that. Yes, it was sweet. Anyway, her grandmother says she brings the heir, my hero, home to her grandmother to heal him so that he gets better. And she said, we've got to go tell the Duke. He's terribly worried about his grandson. And Grandma says, no, don't tell him, because whoever tried to kill him thinks he's dead. And we'll let him think he's dead. And
until you figure out who it is.
Till we figure out who it is. And I like to write mysteries. I do. I like there to be a hook in there, a mystery.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a big mystery. Although my hero, he's so smart and he figures it out really soon. And yeah, and then they, I don't know, a couple of them have to get shot. A friend of his has to come in.
You know, because what's a romance without somebody getting shot, right?
That's right. That is right. And
Laura's the kind of writer you want to keep in a good mood.
That's right.
You know how to do this. I've done it 50-some times.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I got to shoot somebody in every book. Yes. A friend of mine always said, okay, who's going to get shot in this one? And I think, I think I'll shoot the heroine.
And it's just like, I don't know, whoever's irritating me that day, you know?
Yes. I shot the hero in the last one. I'll shoot the heroine in this one. Yes. So
Oh my gosh.
that's my, and then the series will go on from there. Book 2 is called The Page Turner Shop. And the hero of that book is a friend of my hero in book 1. They served in the war together, and he comes home and he's always wanted to own a bookshop.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. His father owns a bookstore in London, and so he wanted to own a bookstore in Willowbrook and start his own. And he also has a love of children's books. And so he wants to write children's books, and the heroine just happens to be a fantastic artist. And so she illustrates the books, Tommy Turtle and Ellie Fox. And yeah, okay. And then book 3, that's written too. I've got them done. I don't know when they're coming out, but they'll be coming out later.
Later.
Book 3 is The Doctor. Every town has to have a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, since everybody's getting shot up in your town, somebody's got to heal
That's
them.
right. Somebody's got to save them. And so the doctor comes to town, and the town does not have a doctor, but they have had 3 generations of healers. And they're herbalists, and they.
Is perhaps there a bit of tension between the herbalists and the Duke?
No,
and the doctor?
I don't know why, but number one, she's an herbalist. How can herbs do anything? And number two, this is in 1850s somewhere, and she's a woman. Women are not doctors.
And number three, she's
convenient
like,
in a romance.
listen, buddy, you need to sit down and help me out because we got patients out the door.
Not only that, but they have a typhoid epidemic that comes.
Oh my goodness.
And this is before aspirin have been invented. This is before
Time for the willow bark.
penicillin was invented.
Yep, willow bark tea.
So do you both shoot someone and give them typhus in this book?
No, that's excessive.
That's
She
excessive.
gets them all over typhus or typhoid,
Oh my gosh.
and then she gets shot.
And
And then she gets shot.
It was
That's
terrible.
rough.
It was terrible.
So I want to be a character in Sophie's book and not in Laura's book.
Oh, I always heal you.
I don't know. Being a character in Laura's books would be fun because I'd want my own shop and I'd be like, now look what's going on over there. You don't want part of that.
I love the idea of a town too, and being able to like learn about how the town fits together and stuff. When you were talking about this on a previous one, I got really excited about that idea, like the getting to see all the shopkeepers and how
Yes.
everything fits together. I think that's really fun.
And
How many books do we have planned for that one?
6 or 8.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're gonna get to spend a lot of time in Willowbrook.
Oh yes. Right now I'm on book 4, and this is called A Learning Miracle, and it's the story of a governess.
Oh, fun.
And so our town is going to get a little school. Yeah. A
Maybe we can
governess.
read children's books in the school. I love the idea of the
Firing
children's book
range.
guy holding kids on his
Yeah.
lap, telling stories.
Yes. Isn't that?
Bosco says hi.
I was going to say, whose dog? Mine's at attention. He hears another dog.
Oh my gosh.
Mine is a beagle, and he has absolutely no
Oh,
self-control.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
so
talkers.
cute. They're so
Beagles are
cute.
talkers.
Now, see, that's what
Very
makes
cute.
writing beagles fun. I have a lot of beagles in my novels because they are fun.
Well,
They are.
I have a bad experience. I only have a Shih Tzu, and
Oh.
the first part of his name or title is exactly what he is. And yes. Uh-huh.
Well,
So-
I can loan you some ducks. That's all I've got in my backyard right now. Ducks in the snow. Do you want them?
No, I don't own a book.
So we know what's coming next for Laura.
Yes,
And you're also writing a Lion's Den book
yes.
as well. So
But that
we have
won't
those
come
things
out till
coming up.
next year.
Still something to look forward to.
Yes. Yes.
Abigail, what's next for you? Because this is the last of the Ashton Park series. Is that right?
Right. I've signed up to do another Lion's Den book, but that's not until next year. So I really don't know right now I've got a couple of proposals that my agent is looking at, but for right now, that's I'm in between books.
There's something kind of
enjoying
nice
the
about being in that
break.
fallow period. You know,
Mhm.
that time when you're just like everything's just kind of percolating and you're letting the ideas
I'd like
stew
to have
around
a
in
time
them.
like that. That'd be great.
Yeah. No, last year I was more productive last year than I've ever been, and got a little burnout. I'm
Mhm.
working on a novel. There's as writers, we never stop in terms of writing. It's just that I don't have a contract on anything right now. I've got the proposals out to my agent, and I'm working on a new book.
Oh,
So-
girl, put that out yourself. Come on. Come
Well, look
on.
We'll
I
look
have-
for the
I came
Lion's
over
Den
to
one that's coming
Dragonblade.
up.
I have 5 unpublished novels, and I have had friends who kept saying, "Go back and self-publish those." And I went, "You haven't read them. I have. I'm not ruling out self-publishing in the future. Those are dead for a reason. So
Hey, I
I think
understand
I think
that.
everybody thinks that you or has a misconception about how many novels you write before you publish one, because
no,
it's it's not the it's
Oh, please,
it's
even after you publish them and you if you have the rights back to them or whatever, you're like, no, we're pulling this one. This is not good
this
stuff.
is not
yeah,
You know?
I
Yeah.
just got my rights back on a mystery novel that I wrote, which has done pretty well and has gotten several awards. And people keep asking me if I'm going to re-release it, and I don't know. So
I always tell them, nope, it's permanently out of print, but thank you for your interest. Here's this series you can work on, you know.
right. I mean, it's sort of like right now my focus is writing on romances, and I think the suspense books that I've done in the past just need to. They've run their course.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You wrote
So-
them for a season, you learned what you learned, and now you've moved on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I always have to have.
I'm sorry, Laura, I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead.
I always have to have something ready to be published. I can't sign a contract for 3 books and not have any of them written.
Oh, girl, you're just
so you
missing
were
out on the
done.
fun. Come on.
Oh no! Oh, that is, yeah.
Come on. We do this all the time.
When I published my first book, I had 17 books written.
You haven't
my
lived until you
goodness.
signed a contract or put a book up for pre-order with nothing in the kitty.
Oh my goodness.
I signed this last contract with Willowbrook series,
Mhm.
having had almost 3 books written,
Oh wow.
because it would have scared me to death.
And
Well,
everybody's
listen,
got to
let me
figure
just
out
tell you,
where
I'm
their
scheduled to
pain
write a
point
book
is,
next
too,
month, and I
you know?
got nothing on it right now. Nothing.
I have
So
been
if you
very
guys would like to help out on that endeavor, that would be great.
I thought I was being very brave because I put my name in Lion's Den to have a book come out, and I haven't written it yet. And that's just,
Oh, it's not due for a while. You'll be just fine.
You're gonna
A
be
year-
Just one day at a time. You just write 1,000 words at a time, and
that's
you
what
just
I do.
do that.
Yep.
Just keep going.
Yep.
Yep.
Sophie, what's next for you?
I have a series that'll start releasing this summer with a different publisher with Oliver Heber.
Mhm.
And it's going to be called All's Fair in Love and Racing is the name of the series. And it's the Regency horse racing world
so fun.
and different parts of it, because I was kind of inspired by that F1 Drive to Survive series show. But I was so fascinated by not just like the cars and the drivers, but the owners and like the whole world of it. And so, yeah, I'd like to do
Oh, nice.
that's the plan for this. So yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
And Sandra, I know that I just got the Publishers Marketplace announcement for your new series. So I know we have a whole nother series coming from you.
Oh my gosh, I am so busy. Listen, next month I release another book in the Winterborn series.
Teasing
with
Miss
Dragonblade.
Atherby.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing. It's a whole big scandal thing. So, oh my gosh, I don't even know where I am in the year right now. After that, with Dragonblade, I'll have another Lion's Den this year, and then next year I have a brand new series for for Dragonblade. After Miss Atherby comes out next month, I'm launching a whole new series on my own called Diamonds of London. So yeah, I'm a little busy right now.
No, it sounds like it. And it
Isn't
also
it
sounds like we
good,
have
though?
lots of books to look forward to. So
Yeah,
Yeah, don't you love being
because
busy?
what's life if you're not like throwing yourself against the wall 24/7, right?
yeah, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it either, but there's just something. I mean, the great thing about having your ducks in a row is that you're writing so far in advance that even if you have to take a pause for mental health or whatever, it's not going to make that big of a difference.
Right.
There's
But
that meme about
I'm
the
going to
ducks
tell
in
you
the
right
row.
now, releasing a book a month, which I have done since the pandemic, it takes a toll on you after a while. So just
It
make
does.
sure that you take a pause and take a breath and, you
Mhm.
know, lay on the
Hang
couch
out in the
one day
fallow
if you
time
need
for a
to.
bit.
Yeah.
Give yourself time to stare out into space. Like that's what I
Mhm.
have to do.
Well,
I
for
do that a
real.
lot.
Or, you know, I mean, it's just like, you know, watch Netflix or go for a walk. Or sometimes my husband will say, come on, we're getting away from the computer. I'm like, what are we doing? He goes like, I don't know, but I have to get you away from the computer. So just make sure that you're taking care of you while you're taking care of all the other characters in your life.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, that is the perfect place to end, because everybody needs self-care, whether you write or not, but especially writers. So, ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us this week. I really appreciate it. I'll put the links to all the books in the comment section so that you can find them if you haven't gotten them. Dragonblade books are the very best deal, pre-order and release. I say it every week because it's true every week. It's when they're at their very best deal, and if you didn't get them on time, you can always read them free in Kindle with your Kindle Unlimited subscription. So there are lots of options, and we've got a wide range of heat and stories for everybody. So thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us this week, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks for doing this, Evelyn. It's
And
great.
we'll see you next week at the same time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.